Hello and welcome to Concrete Pros. I'm Brett Desroches. I'm here with my friend Rob King, and today we're going to talk about concrete sealer.
So Brett, what is concrete sealer and why do you even need it?
Concrete sealer is used to waterproof and dustproof your concrete. It's also used to protect your concrete from the elements. So you want to make sure that your concrete is protected because it is expensive to tear it out and pour it again.
What are the different types of sealer? I know you got acrylic, you got water-based. What's all the differences out there? It seems like there's a lot of choices.
There are a lot of choices. There's epoxies, there's urethanes, there's acrylics. There is a multitude of different products. Really what we're going to talk about today are the topical sealers, the topical acrylics, the colored sealers, but there are many different kinds.
What will the sealer do to the appearance of the concrete?
Well, and for example, with our high gloss product, it is going to leave your concrete looking wet like it does after it rains. If you're using a colored sealer, it's going to give a uniform solid color, but in addition to that, there's also tints available, and if you put a little bit of tint in your sealer, you can get a translucent look as well. There's also curing and sealing products like this one as well. So after you place your concrete down, you put this down, it's also going to cure it by retaining the moisture in the slab.
So kind of like a 2-in-1?
Just like it, yeah.
What is in that sealer and why does it give off that strong smell?
Well, it's a flammable base carrier in here. It is very, very strong. We recommend that you always try to use face mask and gloves on it. But really, for all intent and purpose, it's a solvent and it's a solid acrylic. When you put the sealer down, the solvent will flash off with the temperature, leaving the acrylic on the concrete. And depending on the percentage of acrylic you have in your sealer is going to determine what the final finish looks like.
I noticed a lot of people lately are doing concrete countertops and the like. Is this sealer food safe?
Our water-based sealers are recommended for concrete countertops and they're definitely food safe.
How do I choose the right sealer for my needs?
Well, choosing the right sealer depends on the type of concrete you have. There's many different kinds. There's power trowel finish, broom finish, there's exposed aggregate, there's stamped, decorative. There's just a whole array of different types of concrete. Depending on what type you have is going to determine on what sealer that you require.
Why use a professional grade product and just not one I can find at any hardware store?
Using a professional grade product has its advantages because it's going to last a lot longer. A lot of times when you're prepping your concrete, that takes a lot of time. So if you're going to go through the time to make sure that you've got your concrete clean, you're going to make sure it's dry, you're going to want to make sure that you use a professional product that lasts a long time, something you're going to be happy with.
What are the right conditions to use it? Is there a proper time of day or a proper temperature?
Well, usually early in the morning, as long as there's no moisture on the concrete, somewhere between 5 and 15 degrees. Now that is the concrete temperature, and if you want to test your concrete out, you can just get a little temperature gun, check the temperature of your concrete, because if your concrete is too hot, it's not going to let your sealer stick to it. Your sealer's just going to sit on top, it's going to dry, and then it's going to bubble, or it could blush.
So it's not necessarily ambient temperature, but the temperature of the substrate.
That's correct, yeah.
What is the coverage of this sealer and how long can I expect it to last?
You can expect concrete sealers to last about a year. They are a maintenance coating, depending on how often you're driving on it. Your patio, for example, with concrete sealer is going to last a little longer than your driveway would. But for the most part, you're going to get about 250 square feet per gallon if your concrete hasn't been sealed before. If it has, your coverage is going to get a little bit better.
So is it better for me to do one heavy application and just make sure it's down there real thick and solid, or is it better to do a couple applications?
It's definitely better to do 2 thin applications. The first one will act as a bond. The second one will bond to the first coat. If you put a real thick coat down, there's a chance that you could trap some moisture down there and you'll get something called blushing and it'll turn white.
What if my garage or driveway has oil spots?
If it has oil spots on it, you're going to want to remove those oil spots because the sealer is oil resistant, so it's not going to stick to those areas. If there's areas that are dirty, you're going to definitely want to clean them first, because if you seal over top of a dirty driveway, it's going to be there forever and you're not going to be happy with the result. And there's plenty of products on the market right now, such as the Uniclean product, that will take those stains out for you prior to sealing. The Uniclean is very simple to use. You roll it, or you dump this out onto the oil spot, you scrub it a little bit, you just let it dry, it will turn to a powder, and then you just wash it off with our bullseye nozzle.
How do I apply it? Do I have to be a professional, or could a homeowner do it?
A homeowner can apply this product, or a professional, of course, if you use one of our professional concrete sprayers. But generally a homeowner will use a 1/2-inch nap roller with a cardboard liner in it, a metal paint tray, and a frame. You want to make sure that you don't use anything with plastic in it, because the solvent is very aggressive. It'll melt the plastic either in your tray or in your roller.
So as a first-time concrete sealer, what would be some of the common mistakes people make, and what could I do to fix them?
The most common mistake is definitely surface prep. You want to make sure that concrete is clean, you want to make sure it's dry, you want to make sure the oil stains are out, and that any dirt is out as well. That is definitely the most common mistake. Second most common mistake is if you're putting it down when the temperature is too warm, and it's going to come out like silly string out of your sprayer, because it's going to effectively dry and flash off before it has a chance to stick to the concrete. There's also a problem with blushing. If you put it on too thick, you can trap moisture underneath the sealer, and that'll give you some clouding. Now, that's not the end of the world. If you do have some clouding, there's a product on the market called Resolve. That product is applied down over the clouded area. You scrub it, you let it dry. That'll effectively drive the existing sealer into the concrete and prepare it for another coat of one of our acrylic sealers. So if you want to see how the concrete sealer is done, watch our applying sealer video, which will show you the different ways to properly apply concrete sealers. And if you're interested in any of these products, please click the links below for more information and support us by liking this video. You can also follow us at #ConcreteAnswers. I'm Brett, this is Rob, and thanks for watching Concrete Pros. We'll see you next time.